and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen, and I am here with a yearly hop called, it's through Sara Scraps, and it is Books, Brains, and Bad Puns. And so we do a back to school hop every year. This one I did yesterday for Scrap Timber, and the prompt was school, so I did that layout, and you may have seen some of these kinds of layouts yesterday as well, because there was quite a few of us, so Sara split us into two groups. Some of us doing the 6th and some of us doing the 7th. So this is all I have left of my Simple Stories School Life collection. All scraps, these handful of stickers, and then I've pulled these 2 sheets. One's American Crafts, one's Recollections, because I want to use some of or all of that. And I've got some white base pages, but I want to use everything in this collection up. All of the 2 frames I have left, all the tags and little hexagons I had pre-cut from something else. I have these first day of school pictures, the before and afters of me and my friends. And then I have these sweet pictures of my friends and 2 of their families. So I decided I would do a 2-page layout. One's a little more on the funny side than the other side, but that's okay. I do have this Back to School by Echo Park, and I've got all scraps from that as well, plus 2 sticker sheets. One's back to school and one is something else, school days maybe. And I am going to pull a couple things from this. None of the stickers or embellishments, I don't believe, but I am going to use a couple pieces of the paper because I really don't have much to work with in my collection. And I wanted to get some stuff used up. So I'm going to use a couple papers from here, spoiler alert, but none of the embellishments. But I would like to get this other collection used up as well in the very near future. So I have my papers and scraps. I have my embellishments, my pictures. So let's see how this goes. So I decided not to cut the pictures apart because the ones I put them together because it's the before and after of each of them. So I left them together instead of like I normally would cut them to 3x4 pictures. And so I left them alone. I am going to frame this one of my friend Courtney, the before and after, and then this one of my friend Brooke, because they were the ones that fit perfectly. I was going to frame the ones of the kiddos in that one that says school, but it wouldn't fit because the banner that says school goes down too low. So this one polka dot piece of paper that I had left over, I used part of it yesterday. It was a full sheet yesterday when I scrapbooked day number 6 for Scrap Timber. I tore a piece off of that, used it across the page like I showed before, and had this one piece left. Decided I wanted to stick with the torn theme since I did that with the other layout. And so I tore the 2 and then cut off like a very little smidge at the end and just threw that away because it was jagged and wasn't going to be helpful in any way, shape, or form. And then I have this American Crafts paper that's got the little school supplies all over it, so I use that for the bottom. It is not the same color blue as the polka dots. It is a darker blue. I am fine with that. Sometimes things clash and don't look good together. I feel like this looks perfectly fine. The yellows are not exactly the same, but honestly, the yellows aren't exactly the same between like the pencils and the rulers on that paper at the bottom. So like it's a yellowy and then like a little orangey. So I am perfectly fine with all of that. Also, I know that it does not line up and is not the same, like it does not look like a 12x24 layout, which I know a lot of people when you do a 2-page layout do that. I was not going for that. These little hexagons right here, I created a layout, I don't know, months ago. And when I used the die cut, whatever I cut out, it punched out a bunch of these little hexagons. And so I just kept them in the little embellishment pouch. And now I'm using them all up. I threw away 3 itty bitty ones that were even smaller than a pencil eraser, like very little, and they weren't full, like they must have gotten cut off in some way. And it's such a cute little added thing. So that's why I keep stuff like that. Like if it had just been a few, I might have pitched it, but it was so many of them. Obviously, I was able to go all the way across both layouts. I did the bottom part of that of the lined paper on the one side, and then the top part of the lined paper on the right side. I almost said stripey again. I did use a white starred paper from the Echo Park collection to mat these 2 pictures right here of my friends and their kiddos. there's no way I was getting a picture like that with me and my kid, because well, if you watched yesterday's video, you know, I had to pretty much sick his favorite teacher on him, and I didn't do it necessarily on purpose, but I was very glad that when I mentioned to her he wouldn't let me take his picture, she called him to her classroom and got a picture. So, but my kid's not going to stand in front of the door anymore. Not anymore. He does not like having his picture taken very often. So this picture I'm working on right now, I used 2 pieces of scrap paper and made the mat. The top has got like a bright colored alpha, and the bottom's got little wordy bits that say something like school life. And that came from like a 6x6 paper pad. And so that's just scraps that I used to finish up the whole layout. But because I ended up putting it more on that dark blue paper, it was going to disappear. So I used this white and green plaid and I matted it on that. And then I also matted the picture of me on paper from that other Echo Park collection. So that is where I brought in Echo Park paper, is to mat the pictures, because really I didn't have anything other than that blue polka dot paper I used on here big enough to mat anything, and that wouldn't have that would not have covered all my pictures. And I really wanted to use pattern paper. I apologize for the glare on that far right picture. I'm still working on trying to figure out the best way to, you know, have my lighting. I need to just like watch a YouTube video or something. So now that I've got the pictures down where I want them, I am going to start embellishing. Now, I know most people do not put their pictures down until they know where their embellishments are going. That's not the way I roll. The reason that I name my channel Scrapping on the Fly is because I have ADHD and I typically do not plan things out. I literally sat down, started this, hit record on this video and had no clue other than wanting to use up everything out of this collection. I had no clue where I was going with this. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't know. It was the last minute, pull the papers out, minus the collection. And I just literally kind of fly by the seat of my pants, honestly. There are times when I plan things out. If it's a very detailed, specific kind of layout, like when I'm doing a sketch or something like that, and it's got to be pretty precise. I've done some that I've, you know, spent some quality time planning in the past. And sometimes I do plan at least to the aspect of the collection, the picture, you know, things like that. But I normally don't plan like how everything's going to lay out. So I was excited to think about how I wanted to use these tags up, because there were still like 4 or 5 tags left, I think. Yeah. And so I put 2 of them down at the bottom, the one that says learn something new, and the one that says stay sharp. I put those down there and cut them off. Then I put the be a star student at the top of the other one, cut it off. And then I ended up fussy cutting the good luck clipboard out from one of them. And then I tucked one in behind the picture of my friend and right below where my picture is, because it said something like, it was okay to erase your mistakes. Well, there were no mistakes. It's the first day of school. We don't make mistakes. Oh gosh, first day of school. Y'all, if you've never been in the school system, I know as a parent, you probably understand that the first day of school is chaotic, but until you've been in a school for the first day of school, whoo, buddy. It is something. It is something, because there are so many moving parts that people never really honestly have any clue about until you've really lived it. So just appreciate the people who work in your kids' schools or your grandkids' schools or whatever, or even if you don't have kids, because it is a balancing, juggling act. It's like being at a circus. So, all right. I have finished. I used some Recollections embellishment enamel dots to finish it off. And here is what I have left. Nothing in my the chipboard frames, nothing in my embellishments, including all those hexagons. These are the scraps I have left. I will keep a couple of those, like that ruler one, because I think it will work with that Echo Park collection. And the other side of it's got like a white background with alphas. So I think that'll be fine. This is going very fast, and I'm sorry. Normally I slow this part down a little bit more, but I cut a piece out because I forgot to put a daggone enamel dot on that little tag right there by my friend's picture. So anyway, here is the finished layout. I am excited for how this turned out. I am going to put an enamel dot on that, yep, right there. I hope you will go check out everybody who is hopping along with this fun back to school hop. The information I have will be below in my description box. People posted on the 6th as well as today on the 7th, so I hope you'll go check all of that out. I am really, really excited to get these documented. I love these pictures. I love these ladies. They are just the best. I would love it if you'd give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Hope you have a great day, and I hope you get a chance today to do something you love with someone you love. Happy scrapping!